Okay, in the finals here against King of Trees. Hello and good luck. This is a mole. The opponent is playing first, which is good. That means we're drawing. But even with the draw, we have just two of our heavy black cards. So yeah, we're going to have to mulligan that. This is not awesome, but we want to go late. We have a removal spell. We have lands, and we're on the draw, so we'll hopefully just draw a spell. I don't think being flooded is worth going down to 5 and possibly just being completely screwed. Oh, maybe my opponent actually has a genuine fast deck in playing first in red. It exists. It certainly is a thing. Naturally, we just drew more land, so that's awesome. Ooh, I like those color combination. Ooh, slivers! Oh, are we playing a sliver deck? That would be sweet. Sweet draw here with the Essence Scatter. That's going to be very key. Maybe like a Predatory Sliver or a Blur Sliver, or just any sliver is fine. But if this becomes a 4 mana something, I'm super happy about that. Yeah, like right now. That is great. Exactly what I wanted. Cool. That helps us stay alive, and that is the game plan right now. More spells. That's a spell, right? And that will definitely help. Getting the Essence Scatter back, being able to do that. I assume my opponent has just another big old fatty blah blah thing that's gonna kill me. Claustrophobia will matter at that point soon enough. Yep, another Maulhorn. Well, I'll just F6 since my opponent can't do anything, and neither can I. More lands. Okay, do I take 5 in order to get the Essence Scatter back now? Nah, because then it's gonna be a while. I'd rather just wait and play it out when I can have it already up, which will be in like a turn or two. There we are. And we'll just keep F16 and controlling. Well, good thing we had 2 removal spells here, these Maulhorns with our flood here, because we'd never be able to come back on that. Ooh, I'm very glad that the Claustrophobia did come down right now, considering. I F6'd. I don't think my opponent's really going to play around a Ring Fresh and not attack anyway, because my opponent would be just happy having a Ring Flesh take out the Mana Web Sliver. Ooh, that was actually a very good draw, because that allows me to get a good card played, and then next turn all of our Cheiromancer and Essence Scatter back, so that's going to be pretty cool. Alright, and my opponent actually is missing land drops, so maybe my opponent thought this Mana Web Sliver with the 2 Maulhorns was going to be good enough. Not so much at the moment. And an Outrage. Oh, yeah. That's a target for removal, alright, and now we take 2 points of damage here. Alright, ugh, not awesome. But still, at least my opponent can only hit me for like 2 next turn, so that's good. I just need to stay alive! Start drawing into some stuff. My opponent still has now 5 cards in hand because of the mana screw, so that's going to be a problem. Normally by now, staying alive this long has been pretty okay because my opponent's been out of cards, but I'll have our lands here. Come on, Advocate, you want to rumble? You want to get in on this? Yeah, you do. Dang it, I was bluffing! I didn't really want you to attack me. Ouch. Play a creature. Yeah. Goblin Diplomats. That actually is relevant enough to where I will Essence Scatter it. Even though it's not one of the huge power dudes that kills my life total quickly, the fact that it's against me is going to be a very, very important card. And here we actually have another important card, which I like. Because now I can at least get some pressure back on. Might double block. Probably won't, considering my opponent is playing the colors of Combat Tricks. Oh, and Shock. You and your removal spells, honey. You're taking me out. Been a pretty fun 1-for-1. I've just been on the bad side of it with having too many lands. Instead of having to pressure my opponent's going to draw out of the screw and just be able to just continue having the better board state. But still, it's been a nice little uno, back and forth. Ugh. 3 Maulhorns, an Advocate. I understand why you're in the finals. I see this now. I get this. This is not the deck for sure to come back. Okay, Sensory Deprivation. Helps me stay alive. So it's gonna be played, but it's somewhat irrelevant. Do I just want? I mean, I could put it on the advocate. I'm gonna be chumping this Maulhorn probably because this 3 points gonna really matter. Not so much. I have to use. If I'm gonna win, I need to find a way to kill the marauding Maulhorn. Because yeah, it saves me an extra point of damage right now, but I think having it on the Advocate of the Beast means the Advocate of the Beast will never be able to really attack. You know, so that's very good. Because it completely takes out the Advocate, whereas the Maulhorn just keeps getting bigger anyway. I need a Liturgy, and but the Maulhorn keeps getting big, and you know, and I have no answer to it, then I'm dead, period. So, thus, sensory deprivation on the Advocate of the Beast. Ooh. Well, luckily I was gonna chump anyway this turn, and then I can draw Liturgy of Blood. That's what's going to happen. I believe it. I have 2 of them in my deck. Liturgy. Liturgy. Liturgy! Yeah, get your counter. Get your counter. Go. Go. Shade? I don't want no shade. Am I dead? I think I'm pretty much dead. Played it so I can have a pump, but I guess it didn't really matter. So I go down to 1 this turn? Probably just gonna die. I really don't see how I live through this. My opponent might just have a pump spell. Yeah, so we'll just go ahead and concede there. I have no cards in hand, no need to get there again. Alrighty, so massive big guys. Disperse will actually be pretty good against my opponent. So the time battle, that's going to be awesome. There's nothing really bad. Essence Scatters, Deprivation's going to be fine. Cancrix, I think, is actually pretty horrible. It doesn't really kill a lot of what my opponent has, and actually those 3 Maulhorns just get through it all day. Otherwise, Minotaur? No, because at least Minotaur's an early drop. Yeah, Disperse can at least allow reset counters, but it's going to be an uphill battle having to deal with those 3 Maulhorns. Maybe there's even a 4th one. I don't have any other ways to get rid of them, but still. Gonna play that. Do I want to play first? No, I still want to be on the draw. This is okay. I have a Seacoast Drake to, you know, get to my Liturgy mana. My opponent's mulling to 5. And is playing first. That's no bueno. So maybe this is just a match decided by match 3 if my opponent can't really pull out of this. But my deck is very much the kind of deck that can allow my opponent to pull out of a mull to 5. Especially if it has like a mana west flip or something. Ooh, Deadly Recluse. That's pretty good. Not something I care too much about, but still, it's good. Playing that dude. If no one does anything for long periods of time, this Liturgy and Archaeomancer will get there. My opponent can have the Sliver Construct. That's okay. We only saw the Mana Web Sliver so far. Probably will attack him with Undead Minotaur next turn. I'm not really worried about blocking too much right now. My opponent only has 2 cards in hand, really on the screw, so if my opponent wants to trade off the Deadly Recluse with Undead Minotaur, I'm cool with that. Allows me to keep getting my pieces on board. Not having the 4th mana, I assume, is very key for my opponent. I'm not attacking with Seacoast Drake because it'll just get eaten by Deadly Recluse, so that seems kind of pointless. Yep, taking 2, as my opponent should do. And I'll just signal Ring Flash, because why not? Alright, land and Maulhorn. Nope, no land, still screwed. Well, that's good for me. Not an interactive game of Magic at the moment, though. Play the Swamp, but I'm definitely not interested in using the Liturgy right now. If this was a 2 power dude, maybe I would do that. But I'm actually fine with just 4 points damage. Having the 5th is not something that is ever going to matter. What's going to matter is keeping Liturgy to deal... Yeah, now the 4 mana's out. I assume a Maulhorn's coming down. Yeah, now we'll Liturgy that guy. Especially with our Chaomancer for the follow-up turn. A little bit clunky, but still going to be very good. And if Quagsonus is drawn... Ooh, Messenger Drake's drawn. Yeah. I still want to go ahead and maintain my beat, keep the pressure flowing, while my opponent, yes, I want to continue, while my opponent is having to claw the way to the top. Having the Archaeomancer and Messenger Drake up for later is going to be pretty alright. Just a chump? That's interesting. So my opponent really likes this Deadly Recluse because my opponent didn't want to trade off. Another Maulhorn, as expected. Probably just going to play the Archaeomancer to chump the Maulhorn and get the Liturgy back. It does slow my attack for a little bit. Ooh. And then suddenly that happened. Yeah. So that's definitely being played right now. Just continue to let my opponent just be completely screwed. Will a trade happen now? Does my opponent want to go less than 10? I will get the Liturgy back versus the Time Ebb, because it's a full removal spell. It's just nice I could play that and play the Archaeomancer so I can get an attack in. I want my Liturgy. Give it to me. Opponent draws the Maulhorn. I assume plays it. That's the turn. Yep. I assume it's as good of target as any, unless I draw Quagsonus, which I didn't draw. So yeah, just attack in for 4 again. Alternatively, I could take this opportunity to play Messenger Drake. Kinda like that. No. Let's just kill it. Let's just get rid of it. That is actually one of the more scary things. And put my opponent down to 6 is good. Chandra's whatever is definitely not good, but we're still pretty high on the board. Messenger Drake will allow us to keep putting pressure on the board. But this does give my opponent the opening to now start stabilizing with some big fatties. Maybe there's a bomb in there that we didn't see. Alright, trying to stay alive with the Volcanic Geyser. That's actually great. So my opponent still takes 2 this turn. I get to put more pressure with the Messenger Drake. I should have played it before combat so I can F6 more, which would be nice. Lethal in the air. Blur Sliver ain't gonna cut it. So go for it. Yep, there we go. Alright, so though that was not a quick one game, it was still fairly uneventful. I was just decided on my opponent having to mull down to 5 and then being screwed, and that's going to happen when you're on the play. I was a little bit flawed the first game, so we're somewhat even, though my opponent definitely had it worse that game. I don't think I saw anything that made me want to change my sideboard strategy, so we're going to keep it exactly the same way. Okay, here we go. And King of Trees is playing first. Interesting, because my opponent does have a potentially explosive start. I have 3 mana plus a 4 and 3 5-drops, but my 4-drop is probably reliably coming down, and that's a really good 4-drop, and these are all super powerful spells. So I'm actually okay with not mulliganing. And looks like my opponent mulled. How's my opponent? Oh no, my opponent. Never mind. I can't count. We already have our start to at least getting our land drops down. And the key is just not dying in the meantime. But that's exactly my deck's strategy, so should be okay with that. Alright, what kind of 2-drop do you have? I'm hoping not a Mana Weft Sliver. No 2-drop is absolutely amazing, especially with having Disperse up now. Could possibly, if I need to, you know, time lock my opponent for a turn, just get rid of whatever's played, just so that I can be staying up here. Blur Sliver? Okay, that's an option. Do I feel like Blur Sliver is going to be important enough to take the 2 points of damage down here? Yeah, I think it's fine. Next turn I don't have a 3-drop, so that's probably when I'll use my Disperse. Maybe my opponent's going to try to play a Sliver here, and then I'll Disperse the Blur Sliver, and then my opponent's completely lost a turn. And here's a Maulhorn. Okay. Luckily that's not a Sliver, so I will just go ahead and Disperse that guy. And then we'll have the Reaver down to start taking care of business here. But then the Liturgy back up, so that'll be cool. Alright. Chandra's Outrage, we'll get it. At least I will take my opponent's turn. I keep getting pinged to a turn. This will be alright. So my opponent wants to play that. That's good. Good for me. That allows me to get Messenger Drake online. Actually, no, I'm going to do a Liturgy, because I do want to use a Liturgy against the Maulhorn. It allows me to get attack in with the Reaver, so that is going to be way better. And I happen to draw an absolutely insane follow-up, because now I can also develop my board, so that is sweet. Get in with the Reeves. And that's going to hurt. If my opponent has a sweet hand with nothing to discard, then yeah, just a little chump there, since Undead Minotaur makes that pretty irrelevant. Then having another Liturgy along with the Nightwing Shade, you know, as in if I draw another land, I can play Liturgy and Nightwing Shade. That'll be very good. Oh wait, no, I can't count again. I'm sucking at counting. Another Maulhorn, yep. Saw that happening, but the Reaver's going to connect this turn, so that's cool. Thanks to double Liturgy. And that's just going to be brutal. Ouch. What does my opponent ditch? Ooh, Awake the Ancient. That's a big card. How much green was my opponent playing? Oh, I guess with Mana Weft Sliver that kind of helps. I don't know. I tried playing that early on in the format. It just never worked with the three mountain casting costs. It's just way too much, you know. Wish I had the Essence Scatter the previous turn, because now if I attack with the Reaver, just both of these guys block the Reaver. I get 4 points of damage in, but I'm not far enough ahead to where that matters. I could play the Essence Scatter, or keep Essence Scatter up and play the Seacoast Drake, but I'm actually just A-okay getting the Messenger Drake online here. I could attack with Undead Minotaur, then there's a double block again. Yeah, that just seems bad. If I was pushing more damage through and forcing my opponent to double block to take out a creature, I'm cool with that. But since that's not the case, I don't really care right now. Watch, a huge big old fatty comes down, and I should have kept that Essence Scatter up. Definitely an argument, because that would allow me to, really maintain my board status. But I feel like also having the flyer really allows that. Alright, Lightning Talons comes down, so there's a 4/1 first striker. But if my opponent wants to be attacking, I'll chump the zombie, and then I can attack with the Reaver next turn. All that's up is Shock right now. Yeah, my opponent doesn't even have that. So that's great, because now we can go at, and with Sensory Deprivation, that allows, well, it cancels the Lightning Talons, but it doesn't allow me to attack in still, because there's still going to be a double block that goes on. Correct. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and play Seacoast Drake, and then have Essence Scatter back up. Does my opponent have a land? Nope. Deadly Recluse. That gets an Essence Scatter because we care about our flyers. Certainly could do the Sensory Deprivation on it, but it still allows chump blocks, and I'd rather force through 4 points of damage next turn. Shock takes out the zombie. That's great, actually. Does my opponent want to start attacking? Yeah, I didn't think so. Ooh, Archaeomancer. I'll just get back a Liturgy of Blood. It means anything my opponent's going to be trying to do is just going to be horrible. And we also have a nice chump blocker for one of these first strikers, so that's cool. I'm not playing Sensory Deprivation again. Probably just Liturgy the Striking Sliver if my opponent continues to be stuck on lands. We're just about out of concession here, I think. I don't want to be too cocky by any means, but I can't imagine what my opponent would have. That's actually a pretty good draw, too. I'll still attack with the Reaver. If my opponent has some kind of trick or something, I'm actually okay with that being displayed. Maybe I should have gone ahead and Sensory Deprived it as well, just to ensure. But I just want to push my advantage here. Because, yeah, something like a Giant Growth or whatever gets there. But, or gosh, even the first strike +2/+0 instant would be bad, but still not the end of the world. But I definitely could have played around that better by having Sensory Depro up. My opponent is chumping, or does my opponent have the combat trick? If it's a pump spell, that's cool, because it's still a 2. I mean, it's already been a 2-for-1 with the discarded Awake. Oh, a Geyser. Okay, yeah, that happens. My opponent still takes 3 here. Play the land, because it will help with the Nightwing Shade. Predatory Sliver. That's game, right? Yeah, just go ahead and attack in with the Flyers. And Undead Minotaur, because why not? I think that's it. Alright, GG's. Cool, and that is the last M14 draft. It's been super fun, really enjoyed it. I'll be messing around on my own with M14 still, because I do really enjoy the draft format, but I cannot wait for Theros coming to Magic Online next week. So check out manabluff.com next Friday, October 4th, for our first Theros posting. I'm Ryan. Thanks for watching. Find me on Twitter, __RJH___. Comment, subscribe, or like on YouTube, or comment on manabluff.com, where I am guaranteed to respond. And we can have some nice, sweet chats, and love Theros next week. Thanks again, guys.